Welcome to the Dachop team. I'm your host, Seth the Dart Child.
I'm your host, twinsinc.
Our show is about two guys and any friends that happen to come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our barbershop style podcast. We discuss it all. If the fellas at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up. Welcome back, people. How you doing today? What's going on, Seth?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling.
You not good?
I'm great.
Oh, I'm about to say. So first I want to say is, welcome to Black History Month. Yay. Now, mind you, we're Black History 24/7, every day, all day.
Every day.
You know, but of course, you know, I can't let the month go by and not speak on it, right? You know what I'm saying? We celebrate Christmas and everything else. It don't make no sense. But this month here, we're gonna go in. Not turn up all the way, but we're going to go in. But we're going to chop it up today. So as you see the first topic, you know, well, not first topic, but you see the topic right here. Why Black so forgiving? Let's chop it up. So first, I'm gonna start it off for you, Seth.
Yeah, set me up. I want to hear what you while we talking about this.
Yeah. The reason why we're talking about this today, my opinion. Well, the reason not, and some I'm talking about is all facts. So I'm not speaking on opinion. Mm-hmm. So the reason why I brought this topic up today because last Saturday actually, we lost the great Kobe Bryant, right? Last Saturday, and and his daughter and the other people on the flight, you know, the coach and all, their family and all. God bless. Right. And on Sunday, you know, we did our show, and then after the show, you know, I watched TV, and CNN had the news going on nonstop about the whole Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying, his history, things about him, family, which is all good. No, you know, all love there. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a lady on, I want to say MSNBC, right? Yeah, I'm saying your name because I trash for this. So here's the problem that I have. The lady said on national TV, the Los Angeles Knickers. Knickers or Knickers, whoever you want to say. But that's what they said, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the problem I have with that is that this man hasn't been dead for even 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And subconsciously, she's so used to hearing the word or saying the word, it came out like it was nothing. It came out fluent, right? Mm-hmm. And the problem I have is that our people, we want to give her a pass, said Knickers. She's saying Knickers. Okay, let's play this game real quick. Maybe she was saying Knickers. So, Seth, I'm 38. I've been on this earth for a very long time. I'm an NBA player. I love my NBA team. Mm-hmm. Here's some problems that I have. One, New York is on the East Coast, Los Angeles on the West Coast. Okay. So that's two different, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Two, Kobe never played for the New York Knicks. That's the name, people. The name is New York Knicks. That's the real name. New York Knicks. He never played for the Knicks. He played against them, but he never played for them. He never even lived in New York. He lived in Philly, outside of Spain, and everywhere else he lived at.
And one other question, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Was there any news stories going on about the Knicks that day?
No, nothing going on with the Knicks besides they're having a bad season. I'm not saying they're trash, just having a bad season. It is what it is. So and on top of that, Kobe wasn't playing, or in fact, the Lakers wasn't even playing the New York Knicks. The Lakers just finished playing the Philadelphia 76ers, where LeBron James passed Kobe, and Kobe sent him a message on Twitter, which is everybody seeing a lot.
Well, maybe she meant to say Nixers.
No. That's too. No. Okay. So
or Lixers?
No.
Okay. So, just shooting.
So Los Angeles Lakers. L's. Los Angeles, New York Knicks. Like, I don't understand how that's even close or how that can even slip up. Now, I say this because I never heard any of my black friends say New York Knickers. Hey, man, no, we watch the Knicks. We call them the Knicks, New York Knicks. But I never heard anyone in my 38-year-old lifespan, anyone refer to the New York Knicks as Knickers. Or niggers. I know what she's trying to say.
They are the Knickerbockers, whatever that means.
Yeah, no, not even close. But okay. So I'm just trying to help me up here. Like, so how did Knickers even come in conversation? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the problem I have. And then the worst part about it is that we blacks are so quick to run and say, no, she didn't mean to say that. She didn't say that. Why? Why are you so forgiving for someone who constantly spit in our face time over time? We have 40 years of them spitting in our face. And now even after that, they still spit in our face. And y'all want to give them a pass for everything that they do. Everything that they do. Oh, it was an accident. It slipped out. No, that's how you felt. See, when people speak sometimes you'll say things without thinking because things come out subconsciously. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, so the fact that she said it and the fact that our people is still sitting there trying to defend her, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. It's Black History Month, right? We just lost a great NBA player, Kobe Bryant, and you know what I'm saying? Like, people are still mourning. Did I know Kobe? No, I did not know Kobe. But the thing is this. I seen Kobe's whole career from high school. Well, not high school. I didn't see him. I mean, he did come to Pittsburgh, but I didn't see him in high school. But I seen his career ever since he entered the NBA until his death. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I love Jordan, but Jordan, I didn't see Jordan play in 82 for the North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? Or the 80s early. I didn't see Jordan 80. I didn't follow Jordan until I was in the 90s when he was doing this thing, okay? Let's be real. Kobe, if there was no Jordan, Kobe would be our Jordan because I seen Kobe from day one all the way to the end of his career. You understand what I'm saying? I seen everything. 81 points, 5 rings. He did it. I saw it. So the fact that this man lost his life, because at the end of the day, I wish he was still alive. No one would die like that, right? Mm-hmm. New York Knickers and people giving her a pass. And I see people say stuff, mind you, that same night, right? Mm-hmm. Jason Williams, who's an NBA player, right? He's on CNN, and they asked him about that situation about the lady saying what she said, and he said XYZ, and then he slipped up and said shit, and then right away he took accountability and said, you know what? I'm sorry. I know I cursed. My apology. Right then. At the moment, he didn't wait until later on and people write about it, complain about it,
have time to figure out a lie about it.
He said, you know what, my apologies. He was emotional. He was crying because he's a fan. So he felt the pain of losing Kobe. But on top of that, it's like it doesn't matter what happened. We're always getting spit on because that's exactly that's how I felt. I don't care about any of y'all. The lady was saying niggers. Simple as that. I don't know how you give anybody a pass for that. If somebody was black was saying anything about white people like that or honky on national TV on one of the biggest news channels in the world, you don't think he'll be fired the next day?
Matter of fact, find me a clip where someone actually did that. How many times we get to make a mistake like that?
We don't, because once again, it's not our platform. And because it's their platform, they can cut us off anytime they want to because they said so. Mm-hmm. Hence the reason why we have the Chop Show. Mm-hmm. And we talk about what we want because it's our channel. This is our platform. You have to create your own platform to speak your own mind.
Okay.
But you know what? You talked about this. I want you to, the same conversation we had about how blacks, we have 2 type of languages that we have. And while we can say the word to our friends like, what's up, my nigga, all that 100 million times. Mm-hmm. But you haven't heard anyone in corporate America slip up and say that word at work. Remember you got conversation you had?
Yep.
Break that down to them.
I mean, just to try to repeat what was said. But yeah, so everybody should know this already, but black people in America, especially corporate America and inner city and metropolitan area black people, whatever. I mean, it's almost like we have a whole different language. And it's not Ebonics, but we don't speak the same English that corporate America that we have to speak in corporate America. It's not just I have a handful of words I can't say. When I go to work and I start speaking to anybody, when I'm at work, it's like it's a whole different person. Example would be when I'm at work, I actually may speak like this, and I'll try to enunciate and pronounce every syllable of every word that I say. I will try to refrain from using, street or urban vernacular and in every situation possible. I will call people by their names. I will use proper pronouns, and I will never, ever, ever, because I'm a black man in America, get too familiar or comfortable with my audience. Because if I become too familiar or comfortable with my audience, I may actually slip up and start saying stuff like, damn, bitch, that's fucked up, which you cannot say in corporate America.
Facts. Because
I need my job. So, yes, I may use the word nigger or nigga.
Not to say
I'm
like
black. Once again, because I was letting my inner white guy out right then, and I accidentally added the ER to the word. Oh my God, I added the ER to the word. My bad. So straight up, when it comes to being black, though, we know that we have to be on our P's and Q's every single time. We don't get a pass. And even when somebody of a lighter complexion smile in our face and say, oh, it's okay, but it's okay, Ed, that was a mistake. And then the next day somebody dropped an anonymous report to HR on you, which if it hasn't happened to you, God bless you. If it has happened to you, I feel you.
I've been there.
Right. So once again, for this being forgiven of what, the question is, why do we always forgive? Why do we take slights and injustices against our people, and we have learned to smile it off and shake it off? My first thought on it is I have two trains of thought. One is just a survival tactic.
Okay.
If you know you can't win a fight, don't fight. That's real simple. White people in this country, lighter complected people in this country, they have almost a monopoly on violence. You as a black person in this country can never escalate beyond their escalation. If you get in trouble with the police, you have to deal with the FBI or CIA or junk like that, all the way up to including the most powerful military on the planet.
Right.
You don't have the ability to escalate to that arena. You don't. If you go to court, you're most likely be sitting in front of a white judge. The DA will probably be white. The prosecuting attorney will probably be white. The jury could be all white. You have to forgive and forget because you can't fight the system. That's my first opinion as to why black people are more forgiving. It's because it's a survival tactic.
Okay.
It sucks. It's not fair. If you do wrong by me, I should be able to redress that issue. If you steal from me, if you hurt my mom, if you hurt my kids, I should be able to get justice, even if I have to do it for myself, but not an option, right?
Right.
And we're talking 400 years of proof that you don't get justice in this country. Justice is reserved for poor people and black people. Donald Trump is about to be acquitted most likely tomorrow, most likely, for blatant wrongdoing. How many of our people have stood up in front of a judge, been blatantly wrong, and was acquitted?
A lot.
No, not a lot. I'm sorry. I think you answered that wrong. No. How many of our people have been able to do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Oh, yeah. No, don't want to give them that. And so,
exactly.
And so once again, my first thought is it's a survival tactic. We forgive because we can't fight.
So what's the other way? What's the other reason?
Okay. The other reason is deeper. The other reason is my Afrocentrism coming through, right?
Okay.
It's, we forgive because we are natural to this world. You don't get mad at the storm for being a storm. You don't get mad at a snake for being a snake.
Okay.
You may not like snakes. You may not enjoy being around snakes, but you understand that basis a snake, and you can't. If a snake killed somebody that you loved or a pet or something, you don't go around destroying all the snakes. You understand that was part of nature and you move on with it. We don't, as a people, we are natural to this earth. While you can deal with things violently, you up to and including killing, you don't take that anger with you generation after generation. You know, you just, you let it go. We didn't teach ourselves to do drive-bys and murders and all that. They taught that to us. I was a kid in the 80s. I've been in so many fist fights. You don't even keep count of fist fights. And I've also played in the dirt again with the same kids I was fighting because we were kids.
Gift.
When you get to because of the laws and I don't know what changed, but when do we stop forgiving each other and start killing each other? You know, I don't know. I can tell you, I can point to what I know and what I experienced, but we're not a murderous people. The real murderous peoples are the ones who exterminated 57 million Native Americans. Those would be these are the same people that exterminated 6 million Jews in World War II. These are the same ones where they killed over 10 million Africans in the same war. Funny how that's not in history books. But so those weren't people of our complexion doing that. They taught that junk to us, and now we are less forgiving. But our natural state is to be forgiven because we are natural to this world. That's my opinion. All this unnatural hate and evil that's been doing. Let me think about this. This is just for throwing it out there. But the history of this world, regardless of what you think you might know, if you start doing a little research, you'll find out that there are some black civilizations going back at least 10 to 20,000 years. We've been here for a long time. It's just in the last couple hundred years when a certain other people became the dominant race on the planet that we have global warming. We have the black people on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years, and we never developed a weapon capable of blowing the whole planet to hell.
That's true.
They did it in a couple hundred years. They live on the brink of extinction, and we by default live there with them. But there's nobody of our complexion with the fate of the world a button press away, because it's not natural. It's not right. A war is a war. A battle is a battle. A fight is a fight. Even with slavery. They like to say that Africans enjoy slavery and they did it and the Indians enjoyed it. Yeah, that's true. They still have slavery right now in certain parts of the world.
Yes.
But nowhere, and I repeat, nowhere has slavery ever been practiced the way that a certain lighter complected person practiced it.
In the United States.
Yeah. Normally, let's say 2 villages or kingdoms or something went to war and one kingdom lost. You may become slaves of the winning kingdom. You may be a slave. Over time, you would either be freed, you would intermarry, your kids were not born into slavery, and eventually you be just part of that community, part of that
tribe. Yeah.
In the Bible, they say the Israelis were, not Israelis, but the Jews were enslaved for 400 years in the land of Egypt. But I'm going to ask, prove it.
Where?
Yeah. What 400 years were they slaves? What exact 400 years were they slaves? But I can tell you I can pull out a history book and tell you when they did it to us. And once again, we keep forgiving them because we are part of this natural world. We know that the energy, the life cycle of this world, you can't carry that kind of hate on your spirit.
Well, let's throw another a third level on top of that, right?
Yeah, okay.
Why we so forgiving? So for over 400 years, our Africans, brothers and sisters, have been slaves, right? And everyone knows that during that time frame, they weren't allowed to read, or they didn't know how to read, right? But they were given a Bible to read, Now, mind you, there's some people that can read. I mean, let's be honest, people. You know, we're definitely one of the most genetic, most athletic, most super
and intelligent.
It's
everything.
Yeah, intelligent people in the
we're
world.
Everything you can imagine.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I say this. It's been said before. We were kings and queens and scholars in Africa prior to being shipped off on a boat. They didn't find slaves in Africa and just drag them to America. We were everything they wanted to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Right. So with that being said, to think that out of those groups of people that some didn't know how to read, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, let's be clear. Someone can read. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm trying to make is that the ones who could read, they were given a book to read. And the book they was given to read was the Bible. Mm-hmm. A Bible that they created, or I don't know what it created, but whatever. But a book that was given to us from them that we to read and live by. So what I'm saying is that for over 400 years, our people have been brainwashed to follow this book from the beginning to the end, tooth and nail. And of course, I say the Bible because you're taught to obey, follow. You know what I'm saying? And you're taught to forgive your person, forget the person who transgression against you, right? So that's where it comes from, as far as why African Americans, not Africans, but African Americans are so forgiving. Because over 400 years, we've been brainwashed and told to forgive each other. That's
the funny part. We believe the book that they made us read more than they do.
Exactly. That's I was getting to that. So if you want to follow the Bible tooth and nail, cool. You never sat back and thought and like, okay, if they're giving me this book to read that I should follow from A to Z, and they gave me this book, the slave master gave me this book to read to my people, and you never thought about how come they're not reading the book, and if they are reading the book, how come they're doing the things that they're doing? You know what I'm saying? The things that they're doing to me, how come they're not feeling so conviction? Why I don't feel, you know what I'm saying? Don't feel the conviction of being like, you know what I'm doing to you, I need to stop. But no. They continue doing it for over 400 years. Mm-hmm. You understand how many days is in a year? Times that by 400. That is a long time to brainwash a group of black people, which we are. Because let's be honest, that's why that when you go to church, they want bring your children to church at a young age. Because after a certain age, now you don't just come to church no more. Now you go to Bible study or Bible school. So you can start them at a young age and brainwash them. So when we talk about this, if you get a teenager who's 13 years old and you try to send them to church, it's not going to work too well because they are thinking for themselves. And then when you start asking questions, I think that's the problem. I think that's a lot of problem that the churches have. Once, for me personally, when I was reading, I was young, some things didn't sit right for me and I never understand why. And every time I got an answer, it was like, boy, just shut up and just read it. Whatever. My thing is this. God made the earth. And we talked about this. He knows the beginning, the end, the all, whatever. Right? First thing you do, he creates Adam and Eve. And he gives them everything they want in the world. But then he builds a tree that said they can't eat from. So let's stop right there before we get too deep in it. If I know what's going to happen, why would I, create that tree in the first place? Just why? If you know what's going to happen, if you know Eve is going to convince him to eat it, why would you do it? Like, so is this guy that we have playing games with the people here on Earth?
Sound like a setup to me.
Because, for instance, I want to kind of take your story because we talked about this.
Run with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have 2 kids, right? And if I buy candy and I sit in the middle of the living room, right? And I tell them, don't eat it. And they eat it. But should I get mad or not?
Who's to blame if you do that to your kids? I mean, if they eat it, they should not have ate it.
Correct.
But who's the parent here?
I am the parent.
Who's responsible for keeping them from eating the candy in the first place?
Me. Now, I can tell them not to do it. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. How many times somebody told you to do something and you still did it? We have adults right now walking Earth at this moment. told not to do something and they still do it. Mm-hmm. So let's be clear. That doesn't work. But yes, if I want my kids to have the candy, first off, I wouldn't put it in a reach. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I wouldn't even buy it in the first place if I didn't want them to have it. Or like you said, third, I'll just give it to them.
And I want you to keep going with that. If they do eat it, how do you punish them?
Okay, if they eat the candy, as I said, not eat candy, one, I will probably take the candy away from them. Mm-hmm. I'll probably just give them a punishment, something like you can't play on your toys or gadgets, something they like to do. I'll take that away from them for a little bit, a period of time.
So you wouldn't sentence them to death for an entire species? Would
No, I would not do that.
You would not kick them out of the garden and eat them forever, would you?
No. That's like me kicking my kids out my house because they ate some candy and I told them not to eat. You know what? You don't listen to this house, you don't live here. Get out of my house.
Yeah, make your way in the world the best you can. You ain't got no house, you ain't got no skills, you don't know how to build you don't know how to build, farm or nothing. No. But you know what? You should not have ate my candy.
Right. So once again, people, think about that for a minute. Let's get out your feelings, because I know some of you might be in your feelings right now. Get out your feelings and use your brain. At the end of the day, we were given brains to think, critical thinking. If we wasn't supposed to think, why did we get brains? Mm-hmm. Someone say, well, that's because Eve made Adam eat it, and then we got the knowledge. Once again, go back to my previous statement. If you knew what's going to happen, why did you build the tree? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real, people. But y'all want to share and follow the Bible all the way to the end. I think the Bible has some good traits in it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But everything doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. And I pose the question right now. So there was no black people in the Bible? Now, I get it. People say, well, Jesus here is wool and his skin is this. Listen, you have to put it together and come out and figure out what he was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But how come? But we know every other person in the Bible was white.
No, we know every.
You get what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to finding us, it's not something you can just search and pull up. Like, if you go to Bible app and type in black person, mm-hmm. African, whatever, you may not find anything. You probably won't find anything. So that was my question back in the early 90s when I was forced to go to church as a young pup. To be clear, I was forced back then. So I went. Don't get it twisted. I know what I'm talking about. Even at one point, a deacon in training at one point. Mm-hmm. Once again, I'm not knocking it. It's great structure, but come on, people. This is the reason why we can't get ahead, because we are so quick to forget the person who breaks on our house and shoot me in my own house because they came in the wrong house. But
I want to give you a hug. You killed my brother. Sorry, keep going.
You want to shoot me through my window because I'm playing Grand Theft Auto with my son in the house, and as somebody created my backyard, I want to look at the back window, but the first thing you do is shoot me, but I'm wrong for that. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying, people? But y'all want to forgive all these people, but y'all can't forgive Bill Cosby. Oh, y'all can't forgive R. Kelly. You can't, you know what I'm saying? But
Mike Vick.
Oh, man. Now, yeah, Mike Vick, all of them. You can't forget those people, but.
See, they want us to forgive the lighter complected people, which, Martha Stewart, didn't she do jail time?
She did.
For insider trading?
Sure did. She came out and got the new TV show.
I don't remember any negative blowback on Martha Stewart for that.
There was no boycott.
No boycott. She did it, but hey, it doesn't matter. Once again, your president. I'm not gonna let that part go. Your president. This dude on. Okay, here's the problem for forgiving as people of our complexion.
Okay.
Somewhere in the past, I couldn't imagine where, I internalized right and wrong.
Okay.
So somewhere, something happened so that I understood if you do right, it's XYZ. If you do wrong, it's ABC. And normally for me, because my mother was really whoopee.
Really whoopee?
Really whoopee.
She whoop it real hard.
Yeah. So if you do something bad, there were consequences for doing something bad. There was no middle ground with that. So you do right, cool. You do wrong, there are consequences for doing wrong. So I internalized right and wrong, and if you do wrong, you get punished.
And hold on, long as you that. So when she punished you, did she punish your kids?
Nope, I did not see that happen.
Okay, go ahead. So continue.
I did not see that happen.
Sorry, that's out there.
because she's a really good grandmother. She has frustrated me. I mean, it's a lot of butt whippings I thought they deserved that she let them slide on.
Oh, yeah, don't they? My mom, my kids slide a lot of stuff too. Like, whoa, if I did that, I'd be.
Exactly. You threatened to beat me on the hospital table when I got hit by a car. You threatened to whoop me while I immediately after being struck by a vehicle, and yet my kid got away with what? So anyway, I get it. But it's still, like I say, we keep giving them these passes because it's a survival instinct. If I can't punish you, if I can't make you own up to your mistakes, I may as well let it go. And that's the only thing for black. Now, the part that really hurt me about black people is this. While you can forgive, what's the other side of that statement? I've heard it before.
What?
I can forgive. I just can't forget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You be forgetting. Dude, even if I might not be mad at the police, I forgive you for killing my brother. I'm just as going off on that. I'll forgive you for shooting my brother, but I don't forget that you shot my brother. We ain't friends. We not cool. You not welcome. I'm not giving you a hug. And if you don't cross me, and I won't cross you. But otherwise, you go live your life over there. Why do we keep forgiving and forgetting?
That's true.
You can't. It's another saying.
No. Let's stay for a second.
Okay.
When you think about that, right? I can forgive you, but I'll never forget it. But isn't but some reason they feel like that's 400 years of slavery. That's so long time ago. We need to get over it. But,
I know,
right? But every year there's a certain day which is called 9/11, and we have hashtags that come out every day that says "Never forget." How can we? Okay, so you want me to forget about 400 years of slavery, but don't never forget how that these two so-called planes flew in the building. And the building fell straight down instead of tipping over. Message: there was no planes. But anyway, but you want me to never forget that, right?
Exactly.
You don't forget that, but I can't forget the bombings you did in Philadelphia, the killing, Black Wall Street. Don't forget that, because that, mind you, those wasn't 400 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. Right. That wasn't 400 years ago. That's under 100 years.
Yeah, and see that. So, I mean, I'm not even sure what I want, what I'm asking. It's like,
well, what we're asking is that I'm not saying that we want, you can forgive, just don't forget. But then, like you said, they're forgetting. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You
know what I'm saying?
You giving it a pat. It's like,
so how many times does a cop guy come to house and shoot you and you want to forgive them? I'm not saying, listen, first off, we're not trying to start no war. Because I'm saying this is not what we're trying to do. We're actually talking to my people. Why are you guys so forgiving?
Yeah, here I'm trying to figure out a way to say this without going into a whole nother topic and changing it too much. But for all of y'all who remember Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Emmett, all the way back to Emmett Till, I can sit here and call out multiple names. It doesn't have to stop here.
Right.
But for all of y'all people who quick and to call the police on somebody of your complexion for whatever reason. Oh, he won't get out of my house. Oh, he threatening to hit me. If you know what, learn to police yourself, because the people who you calling, they not coming to help you. Facts. The people, you may get some, and I'm not gonna say all of it. Let's be honest. 99%. No, not that high, but 99% of the time when you call the police, it works out exactly the way you want it to. But that percentage that doesn't work out the way you want it to, it's bad for us, and we keep doing it to ourselves.
Very bad. I seen a black guy in Florida call the cops for something. And the cops came and shot him on his own property. He survived, thank God. Well, gods or whoever. But he survived. But the point is that they came, and his first black person they saw him as a threat.
And they always said, bruh, Okay, this is the problem with this forgiving and forgetting stuff. That this is my main problem. Is that they know that they did wrong. And I say this, I'll say this to anybody. White people know that they did wrong when it came to slavery, when it came to redlining, when it came to Jim Crow. They know they did wrong. There's no doubt in their mind they know they did wrong. They're trying to change the history books to whitewash all of this like it never happened. But it happened. And they know in their heart that they don't have the ability to forgive. That's why they can't accept the fact that we are forgiven. They can't. If you know you're wrong, if you don't have the ability to forgive, you think the people who are looking at you also don't have the ability to forgive. Because most people judge people based on what they would do in the same situation. That's all it is.
Facts.
You judge people based on what you would do in the same situation. When that white cop shows up and shoots somebody, a black guy in the backyard, because that was the first person he's seen, that's how they feel. And that's how they'll always feel. Because they expect you, if you was a black guy with a gun, they would expect you to shoot them in that same situation. You won't, though. We forgive too much. We're not holding that hate on our spirits, on our souls. But people judge you based on what they would do in the same situation, and they act accordingly. That's why black people get harsher penalties when we stand in front of a judge, because they would expect us to get that revenge. That's why they got so angry with Barack Obama. They were terrified of Barack Obama as a president because they expected him to treat them the way they treated us. Barack Obama didn't do that. That didn't stop them from electing Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And what is Donald Trump is actually doing everything he can to get back at Barack Obama for something Barack Obama never did to him. He's tried to erase his presidency. Did you see Barack Obama try to erase the previous 43 presidents' presidencies?
Not at all.
Not at all. But Donald Trump couldn't wait to get in there. Why? Because they judge you based on the way they see themselves. And when they do that, when they come up with the fact that if it was me, this is what I would do. So this obviously what you would do. So I'm going to treat you this way so that you'll never be in a position to judge me. That's why you got Donald Trump has dumped 1,500 judges on the circuit courts since he's been in office. It ain't got nothing to do with who he is as a person. Even from the law, they don't want us judging them. They don't want to create a situation where we could be in a position to judge them because they're so evil and unforgiving that they don't trust you to be fair to them because they know they haven't been fair to you.
Facts.
That's all I got.
Drop the mic. But yes, with all that being said, people, my thing is this: if you want to forgive somebody, cool, do it privately. That's it. Because my thing is this: when you do it, publicly, it's giving the notion that we all feel the same way.
I know. What they judge us monolithically. They act like one black person speaks for all white people. I mean, black people, but they don't think that one white person speaks for all white people. Stop it.
Yeah, that's facts. Because another prime example, the Love and Hip Hop shows. You know, all those type of shows when all the ladies go on a little women's retreat, and they all having a good time, and all of a sudden a fight breaks out. So anytime a group of black women now go on trips now, people are always looking at them to see if they're going to start fighting. And this is not my personal opinion. Not a girlfriend, but a friend who's a girl told me this when she went out with her friends. Be clear that when she out, people are looking at her like we're going to love hip hop. We're going to start break out fighting because people see those things and they take that with a whole grain of salt. Like, oh, that's how they all act in public. That's how they act when they get together. They don't know how to act. So it's the same thing what you're just saying. They think one person speaks for all of us. No, that person doesn't. So when that dude hugging the woman for killing her brother, that he's speaking for himself. That's him. I don't feel that same way. You killed my brother. I won't be at the gym. I mean, at the court. Like, I just wouldn't be there. There's no person because at the end of the day, my brother's not coming back. I don't care what you're gonna do, the sentencing, because I know it could be 5 years, it could be 25 years, whatever case may be. The person will get off scot easy. It's just not going to bring my brother back. Mm-hmm. So we need to stop saying, oh, I forgive you. No, I don't forgive you. Hope you rot. And it's still, even when you rot, I still like, my brother ain't coming back. My kids can't see their uncle no more because you went into the wrong house and you thought this and thought that. Like, the story's still not even clear, but at the end of the day, people, that's just examples that I have that it grinds my gears. Like, doesn't make no sense. It just make no sense. Like, we forgive. Like, what? No, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way.
Well, like I say, just that. I just want to stop it too. We gotta see.
I know, right, boy.
But I say this for black people. And this is my thing for black people. If you know that they judge you monolithically, if they know that they assume one black person is XYZ, so all black people are this, I just have to ask my people. Seriously, no argument, no shade. Stop. Okay? Stop. If they assume black people, this is a whole different conversation, but they assume like black people are violent. Calm down, folks. They assume that we thieves. Stop stealing shit. I mean, stop it. You know what I'm saying? You making it bad for everybody when you do some BYS garbage. I'm not telling you to follow the law. You just know right from wrong.
No, I feel you. The thing is, they take that one scenario person and then run with it. But because, mind you, if one person steals, they all thieves. Okay, I get that. So, but if one mass shooter shoots up a school, I can't think that all white people I see now are going to shoot me up. I can't do that. Wait. It don't work that way.
We can think all we want. Once again, I think I said earlier, we don't have the ability to escalate.
Facts.
So
that's true.
It doesn't matter if I think all white people are mass shooters. I can't do anything about it. I mean, I can go out there all I want to and get some justice, and I'll be dead. And if everybody black picked up a gun and went into the street and tried to deal out justice, we still lose.
Facts.
Numbers count. You know what I'm saying?
And
so
I can hear the ignorant people saying now, well, you can. All you got to do is you got to go and vote. Or you got to go and do those jobs. I said, let's stop it. Because at the end of the day, because you got 4 years of a head start of the black people, you're in those positions. By the time, if we want to get a certain position, we have to either create the position ourselves because no one is going to give us anything. Not saying that we're asking for handouts. What I'm saying is that if one person is in a position, they get promoted, what they do right away, they've got the next person behind them and pull them up to the next position. We don't get that same treatment. If it's someone in our department, they got we got to hire out somebody outside instead of building someone internally up and pulling them up.
See, once again, this gets so personal. I mean, not for me, but it's for it gets painfully personal when you start thinking about how we've been treated. I mean, how many black Fortune 500 companies are there?
Only a few?
No. Black? None. Fortune 500? None. None. Black owned? Look that up. You should come up with zero. At the most, I'll give you this much. 1%. At the most, 1%. But here's the point. The products and services that these Fortune 500 companies may sell or may have used to become rich, who developed all those? Because I'm quite sure a lot of our brain trust went into it, but we just didn't get to own what we had. Once again, think about this, and this I think we should end it right here. But listen, in 1850, black people owned 1/2 of 1% of the wealth in this country. In 2019, black people still own 1/2 of 1% of the wealth in this country. You need to hear that. So I'm not arguing about being forgiven. We need to forgiven. That's part of who we are. We are natural parts of this world. We accept the fact that a tornado is a tornado, that a lion is a lion. We accept that. What we need to start also accepting is that if you can't trust somebody, you can't trust them, and move accordingly. Stop trying to be friends with somebody who has proven that they can't be trusted, and move accordingly. We need our own neighborhoods. We need our own schools. We need our own cities. We need our own places and spaces. because you can't build with somebody you can't trust. And every time we try to integrate, we get slapped in the face, and then we forgive them for that slap in the face. Just saying.
Well, I challenge anyone out there, for those Fortune 500 companies, look them up, post it in the comments.
Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'd love to know the exact stat, but I would say maybe 1% of Fortune 500 companies are black owned.
So, people, this is a grind of gears. How we feel. You can forgive, but stop forgetting. Stop forgetting.
Exactly. Know what you know and move accordingly.
All right, we out.
Peace.
Peace.